So today I'll be talking about the Fourth Crusade. To start off, we can define the crusade as a military campaign aimed to restore Christianity in the holy places of Jerusalem. The Fourth Crusade was originally intended to conquer Muslim-controlled Jerusalem by invading through Egypt. Of course, as we all know, this did not happen. So to start off, we'll introduce the key people during the Fourth Crusade. There is Pope Innocent III, who was a pope during the time of the Fourth Crusade, Bonavacci of Montferrat, the leader of the crusading army, Doge Dandolo, the leader of the Venetians, who later joined the Crusaders, Alexia III, who was the Byzantine emperor, before Alexia IV toppled him with the help of the Crusaders. Then lastly, Alexia V, who was the leader of the anti-crusading faction, and later became the Byzantine emperor after killing Alexia IV. So the idea of the Fourth Crusade rose when Pope Innocent III succeeded the papacy in January 1198. Even though it was primarily ignored by many countries, as England and France were still engaged in warfare, and the Germans struggled against papal power, a crusading army was organized at a tournament held in Ecre in 1199. This crusading army was led by Bonavacci of Montferrat. The majority of the crusading army set out from Venice early October 1212 and was ready to set sail directly for the Ayyubid capital, Cairo. This is when problems started to occur. So this is the timeline of the Fourth Crusade. You can see on the right that there are the different major events that occur, which I will talk about later. And this is the map of the path they took in order to reach Constantinople, right there. So, as the Crusaders arrived in Venice, the Venetians, who built the war galleys and transports, would not allow the crusading army to leave without paying the full amount agreed. The Crusaders couldn't pay this promised amount, as the size of the crusading army was smaller than expected, resulting in less funds. The toll on the Venetian economy would be disastrous, however, if they cannot receive this promised amount, as they halted their commerce to prepare for the expedition and exhausted a third of their men to man the entire fleet. Doge Dandolo, the leader of the Venetians, formulated a plan to recover Venetian control over Zara, a port in Dalmatia, which is present-day Croatia. This would help the Crusaders pay their debts off, since it would help Venice reclaim power in their merchant population. This plan was endorsed by the papal legate to the crusade, Cardinal Peter of Capua, because it was deemed necessary to prevent the Crusades from failing completely. The sacking took place on November 1212. However, when Innocent III heard of the sack, he sent a letter excommunicating the Crusaders. The leaders of the crusade, however, decided not to inform their followers about this excommunication. So Bonavacci decided to visit his cousin Philip of Swabia instead of taking part of the sack of Port Zara. During his visit, he met Alexio IV of Angelo, the son of the recently deposed Byzantine emperor. Alexio IV offered Bonavacci 250,000 silver marks to topple the reigning Byzantine emperor Alexio III. Count Bonavacci agreed to Alexio, which to present days we still don't know why, and rejoined with his crusading army in Corfu, a port in Greece, after the sack of Zara. Dandolo, a big advocate for the attack on the Byzantine because of his greed for wealth, bribed many influential crusaders to join in on the attack. The Pope once again failed to condemn this scheme. So on June 1203, the Fourth Crusade arrived at Constantinople. The crusading army crossed Bosphorus, also known as Istanbul Strait, and pushed the Byzantine emperor back into the walls as they pushed south. After attack on Galata, Alexia III lost courage to face the crusading army, even though the Crusaders were vastly outnumbered, which led to damaged morale and him fleeing the city. After Alexia III fled the city, Alexia IV became co-emperor with Isaac II, his father. So, as Alexios IV became co-emperor, he realized that Alexios III fled with 1,000 pounds of gold, leaving the treasury short of funds and him unable to honor the contract with Bonavacci. His attempt to extract gold and silver by melting Byzantium and Roman icons was a sign of weak leadership in the eyes of all Greeks. Alexios IV failed attempt to retrieve enough resources led to an expedition to Adrianople to confront Alexios III in an attempt to recover the taken gold. During this time, however, a riot broke out in the city. Opposition of Alexios IV grew after violent tension between the Muslims and Latins. Mosques were attacked by the Crusaders after a number of Latin residents were killed, leading to the Great Fire, which destroyed an estimate of 100,000 homes. Alexios Ducas became the leader of the anti-Crusader faction and led an initial clash with the Crusader, earning him the populace and was named Alexios V in February of 1204 after imprisonment and strangling Alexios V. So the Crusades and Venetians were incensed at the murder of their supposed patron and demanded Alexios V to honor the payment Alexios IV promised them. The refusal by Alexios V led to assault on the city once again. Pope Innocent III demanded them not to attack, but failed to get the message across. On April 12th, 1204, the Venetians finally scaled the wall from sea, while the Crusaders knocked holes in the Byzantine wall. After accidentally burning down more of the city with a wall of fire in an attempt to defend themselves, they completely took over the city a day later, after Alexios V fled during the night. During this savage sacking of Constantinople, many ancient Greco-Roman and medieval Byzantine works of art were either stolen or destroyed. The magnificent library of Constantinople was also destroyed. The Crusaders were ruthless, violating city churches and monasteries, and destroying, defiling, and stealing all they could lay their hands on. So we come back to this Fourth Crusade map, and now, with a better idea of the timeline, you can see where they start in Venice, and then their attack on Zara over here, and then they met up in Corfu with Bonavacci, where they were informed about the changed direction and attack on Constantinople, and they made their way around to Constantinople, where the first and second attack occurred. So the original goal of the Fourth Crusade was only met by a relatively small number. About a tenth of the knights reached the Holy Land. The legacy of the Fourth Crusade, however, was a deep sense of betrayal felt by the Greek Christians. In addition, this crusade showed the lack of leadership by Pope Innocent III, first excommunicating the Crusaders, but then welcoming them back after they brought back stolen items for the church. The Byzantine Empire fell from the second sack and forming the Latin Empire shortly after. This was also the start of Greek states fighting for supremacy against both the Latin Empire and each other. Greek civilians grew away from the West, which resulted in the advancements of the Ottoman Turks. So the millennial aspect of the Fourth Crusade can be seen in three parts of this crusade. The reclaiming of the Holy Land showed the tension between the Christians and Muslims, as the Christians kept wanting to invade Jerusalem and reintroduce Christianity. However, the shift in attacking Constantinople introduces a new movement, leading to the short unity between the East and West, and the formation of the anti-Crusading faction. With the attack, the state of Constantinople solidified the schism between the Church of the East and West. Greek states also started to fight, which allowed a new millennial group, the Ottoman Turks, to grow. So the Crusades never really picked up after this. The failed attempt to recover Jerusalem stopped, and the rest of the Crusades became campaigns intended to prevent further expansion to the west by the new growing millennial group of the Ottoman Empire.